By the end of the 1950s, the CIA had created a plethora of programs that were designed to change the way humans think and behave. Eventually, these programs would also target the media, education, and even Hollywood.
So MKUltra is probably the most famous of the U.S. mind control programs. I mean, it's an iconic program, and it's been in movies galore. It's all about mind control. So what's interesting about MKUltra is, A, it was secret for many years. No one had any inkling that this was going on. And we're talking, look, some horrific, off-the-charts, like Frankenstein-type experiments. We're talking sensory deprivation experiments on unwilling and unwitting human subjects, some of them terminal. All right, some of this stuff done at Edgewood Arsenal in New Jersey, and some of them done off American soil by the really, truly evil Dr. Ewan Cameron, formerly head of the World Psychiatric Association over at McGill University in Canada, where he did, in addition to lobotomies on women in menopause going because they were having anxiety, he did what he called psychic driving. This is all for the CIA. Lovely stuff here in the early 1960s. So in other words, the idea was he would somehow find a way of emptying their minds of unhealthy thoughts, however he determined that, and driving in thoughts that he thought were positive. Can you imagine how utterly sick this was? This was the head, one of the most prestigious psychiatrists in the world.
Operation Mockingbird is called. It's a whole project to infiltrate Central Intelligence Agency people into the media and to put out false stories and to suppress truthful stories and affect the news. And they undoubtedly do that in Hollywood. There's not any doubt of that.
You know, it's an interesting thing. When Richard Condon wrote The Manchurian Candidate in the late 50s, it was interesting because he was really focusing on the Chinese and the North Koreans. But I guarantee you, by the late 50s, the U.S. was so far ahead of the Chinese and North Koreans, and probably even the Russians, in what we would call brainwashing techniques. And I don't really know what Condon knew, but I suspect he knew quite a bit. Our intelligence community has just done all these things. And by the way, they did it with their own cache of imported Nazi scientists, courtesy of Project Paperclip, is that we only know about MKUltra by accident. This is how secrets do happen. They can go forever, sometimes beyond forever. The other thing about MKUltra is the whole point of it was to harness the human soul, the human mind.
And in fact, the American people acquiesce in that. They say, oh, well, you know, all's kind of fair in love and war. And, you know, and so that we've been in this big conflict with the Soviet Union and or now Iran or now, you know, the ultimate enemy of the weak, you know, kind of this Orwellian process of the national security state. They don't stop these things just because everybody finds out that it's horrible and they ought to stop it. They just say they stop it. There's a famous saying in Washington, D.C. that if an agency gets caught doing something awful, they'll change the room numbers on the rooms. And if it's really bad, they'll change the phone number. But they won't stop doing it.
The programs were developed to fool the human race through the use of planted stories and fake news. But what about technological advances?
One of the problems is that we have to become cognizant of what the capabilities are within the counterintelligence community and the intelligence community. And I remember in the early 90s meeting with a man who was in his 80s at that time. He's passed away since, who invented an electromagnetic system so that you could hook someone up to it, anybody, and they would be able to remote view through the electronic system, but interfacing with consciousness. Now, this guy said to me that was also had been turned into not just a passive viewing system, but an active weapons system, where you could then turn it around and target people with experiences that are 100% real. One of the interesting ways he put it to me, he says, look, he said, Dr. Greer, if we want to target you so you have a conversation with your personal God, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, whoever, you'll believe it. You'll think it's real, and you will absolutely will pass a lie detector test that it is real. It is that good. Now that was 1956. So extrapolate into the 70s, the 90s now, what those capabilities are. Now this sounds like an urban myth. It is not. And by the way, the only thing that Wernher von Braun warned about as being more dangerous than this so-called Project Bluebeam or false flag hoaxing an alien attack was the existence of these technologies in the hands of the worst kinds of people and that they were being abused.
Aaron Alexis, we know, had violent outbursts, run-ins with the police, and police now say he also heard voices.
21-year-old Nicole Natchman is not talking about the murders of her mother, Marion Denis, or her stepfather, Robert Denis, both gunned down last Thursday night. But this arrest affidavit speaking volumes tonight. According to deputies, the FSU student began hearing voices on campus telling her to kill her parents.
John, police say 26-year-old Richard Rojas said he was hearing voices and expected to die. Authorities say he was likely attempting suicide by cop. Rojas had been discharged from the Navy following disciplinary problems and had multiple prior arrests for driving while intoxicated. Rojas is accused of mowing down people in Times Square for 3 blocks before he was stopped by a row of steel barriers.
Officials say Esteban Santiago was undergoing treatment for mental health problems, complaining that he was hearing voices. They say a few months ago he walked into the FBI's office in Anchorage, complaining that the CIA was forcing him to join ISIS. Officials say local police were called and he went voluntarily to a mental health facility for treatment.
22-year-old Klein Thaxton believed he was hearing 3 voices inside his head the day he walked into this downtown office tower. One of them he calls the Crow.
The Crow, he said, talk to him.
Thaxton's lawyer revealed that new detail to us this morning after a preliminary hearing in the case.
Voices were telling him to cause some damage, cause some harm to someone. And he kept telling the voices, no, no, no.
Thaxton was arrested almost a month ago after police say he entered the office of Charles Breitzman on the 16th floor of 3 Gateway Center and held Breitzman hostage at knife point.
He was hearing 2 different voices. A lot of people don't know that.
Driven by voices, that's the claim in an investigation by the Boston Globe about accused Boston Marathon bomber Tamerlan Tsarnaev. Brian Todd is joining us right now. Brian, the report suggests he was hearing voices, that he may have had a mental illness. What's going on?
Now that Maisa Alvarez has gone before a judge, her arrest report is public and sheds new light on her state of mind. The affidavit says Alvarez confessed that voices told her to kill her son.
In an interview with investigators, she first denied setting the fire and then said it was accidental. But when asked again, she said the house was, quote, filled with demons, and she began hearing voices telling her to carry out her mission. She admitted to lighting paper coffee strainers on fire, setting them on furniture, and then locking the door and walking away.
Police say a 20-year-old suspect took 3 bank employees hostage yesterday. He released one, but after more than 12 hours, he shot the other 2, killing one and leaving the other in critical condition. That's when police moved in and they killed him. Now we're learning more about the suspect. Police say he suffered from paranoid schizophrenia and believe something had been implanted in his head.
For a harassment call. According to the police report, the man we now know is the Navy Yard shooter said people were following him. He was hearing voices and they were putting vibrations in his body to keep him awake.
Law enforcement sources tell ABC News the 19-year-old gunman told investigators he heard voices in his head directing him to conduct the attack.
Hundreds of people in the valley say they are hearing voices in their heads.
Electronic harassment, synthetic telepathy, voice-to-skull technology. Chances are you haven't heard of these terms, but after searching the internet, I found dozens of websites dedicated to the phenomenon.
Newport police tell us they came here to the Marriott a month ago for a harassment call. According to the police report, the man we now know is the Navy Yard shooter said people were following him. He was hearing voices and they were putting vibrations in his body to keep him awake. Newport police say they responded to the Marriott Hotel early in the morning on August 7th. Aaron Alexis told police he was a naval contractor who traveled often. Alexis told the officer he had a verbal fight with someone at the airport in Virginia as he was getting on a flight to Rhode Island. And that person sent 3 people to follow him and keep him awake by talking to him and sending vibrations into his body. Alexis left a Middletown hotel, went to a Navy base hotel, but still heard the voices. He escaped to a 3rd hotel, the Marriott, but the voices continued. Alexis told the officer the 3 individuals were speaking to him through the floor and using some sort of microwave machine to send vibrations through the ceiling, penetrating his body so he cannot fall asleep. A Newport police sergeant contacted Naval Station Police, which said it would follow up and determine if Alexis was a naval-based contractor. Today, Alexis's employer, The Experts, confirms the 34-year-old information technology employee worked for them for 6 months over the last year, and that his most recent background check and security clearance in June revealed no issues other than 1 minor traffic violation.
DeCarlos Brown was a targeted individual and the victim of a neuroweapon that hijacked his body. He believed he had a government-implanted chip in his head. He believed a man-made material was controlling his eating, walking, and talking. He had voices in his head which his family thought was due to mental illness. He had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and suffered hallucinations and paranoia. He said he killed his victim, Irina Zarutska, because she was reading my mind. There is police body cam footage of DeCarlos Brown Jr. In this footage, he said, "The man-made material was authorized for a human body. The man-made material can help a human. The man-made material can communicate with a human better than a phone. Could this be black goo, gray goo, or graphene oxide? Could this be Morgellons related? Could this be advanced nanotechnology with machine intelligence or man-computer symbiosis? A medical device that can assist the disabled but is weaponized for torture? Human augmentation or super soldier related? Programmable matter? Smart nanomaterials? Metamaterials? Neural dust? DARPA N3? Remote neurocybernetics? Brain-computer interfaces? Could this be mind control and MK Ultra related? Or Manchurian Candidate related? Or a psychotronic weapon?
I'm at the shelter.
You're at the shelter?
Yeah, I'm at the shelter.
Okay.
I'm like, ain't no f***ing way I'm about to go back to the shelter if I just woke up on the ground and I got this goddamn emergency. And I'll go print out copies and give it to CMPD just for his It's the one that's coming, right? It's the same.
It might be a different one.
I hope it's the same one, because I want his ass to lock me up, and it's going to be like his ass getting locked up because he refused to investigate the goddamn material.
We just don't know what material to investigate, man.
Okay.
This is kind of.
If it's listen, okay. Technology like that shouldn't be hard to find, right?
Well, that's if it's like I'm not saying that it ain't real.
And right? I'd rather sit in jail and I falsify everything. I done went over this 1,000 times with y'all. What the f am I talking about now? What y'all about to tell me?
We don't know what to tell you, dude. We ain't never heard of this before. This is not.
Just give me your sergeant's name so I can just.
He's coming out, bro. He's coming to talk with you, all right?
Yeah, and lock me up. And then when I
bro,
get
we
out,
don't want to lock you up, man.
Because
that's not what we're here to do.
I apologize.
You're good.
I apologize. We at this stage. I woke up on the ground.
All right, man. And so yes, first sergeant, man. Here he is.
Yes, sir. Do you need something from me? How can I help you?
No.
What's this?
My emergency is the best way to explain it.
Best way to explain it. Just tell me what's going on.
My body got exposed to material. I need you guys to investigate due to the fact that medic ain't got no test or scan to investigate what my body got exposed to. And I've been doing this for like 3 years now.
What'd your body get exposed
to?
What'd your body get exposed to?
You guys had to investigate the name of the material to fix my emergency.
What was it? What was it?
That's what I'm trying to do.
2261, the nearly 72-1 Hummer. What if it's on the paper?
No, it's a little bit about the material to fix my emergency.
Well, what is it? What is your understanding of it?
It was authorized for a human body. It had to be, I'm pretty sure it wasn't created in somebody's son. And I'm pretty sure it's authorized to help the human. And one of the special things about this material is you can communicate to the human. Like, clearly. Like, even better than a phone. Promise you.
Who gave you this?
somebody committed a crime and exposed me without my permission or authorization at all.
Okay.
So right then and there, a crime was committed.
What crime?
Let's see. When they did it to me, they gave me something that I didn't even know or was aware of.
Who's that?
Okay. So you guys have that in y'all information already. Last Arch, you had looked it up. It was like, okay, you did your part.
So there's already an investigation in the books then? So there's already an investigation in the books?
I did like 4 or 5 police reports, but they said they needed the evidence first to...
Well, there's already an investigation. I can't step on anybody's toes and start another one.
Yeah, but... Okay. Yeah.
Is there anything else I can help you with tonight?
Now you say... What did you say again?
Is there anything else I can help you with tonight?
Nah, but somebody's playing with my body. And I'm trying to figure out how to fix the problem.
Well, you got a good spot for it. You go to the hospital.
It ain't no
discharge you already.
It ain't no material. Well, it ain't no scans or tests to show what my body got exposed to. So medic is out of question.
I'm just the cop. I can't treat you medically.
I don't need medic. Keep saying medic. I don't need medic.
But you got a hospital. That's why you saying your body is treated.
Okay, my body got exposed to something, but they don't have to test or scan to show what my body got exposed to.
What do you want me to do about that?
A criminal fact was taking place. And you saying what you want me to do about it, and I've been trying to. I can't.
You told me you've already told police about that, right? So they've already.
They said they wanted the evidence, but they can't give me the evidence. So who's on next now?
There's nobody on this.
So somebody got this material and they can just play with my body because of what again?
You tell me.
Because the police said what?
You tell me. I don't know what they
What's
told
your
you.
name?
My name's
That's
Sergeant
what I'm
Hawkins.
saying. Yeah, he should have read the paper. Man. What's your name?
Sergeant Hawkins.
Sergeant Hawkins.
Yes,
how good does this look when he said the police can't do a thing about it?
That's what I told you, man.
That's why I told him to read the paper.
Man, you explained the paper.
Now let's go over this again without you reading the paper.
If you're gonna shout at me, I'm gonna walk away.
All right, well, walk away. Thank you.
I'm coming here as a favor.
Thank you. We'll walk by.
Anything I can do to help?
That's it, Sarge.
All right.
You said the police can't do a thing about it. Bye.
We can't. All right. Cool. Okay. If he calls us 911 again for some of this nonsense, we'll lock him up for misuse of 911.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, sir.
Thank you. Right here.
It's just before 10 p.m. on August 22nd, and 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown Jr. is seated on a Charlotte light rail train. Several other people are around him. According to officials, a few minutes later, the train doors open, and 23-year-old Arina Zarutska gets on and takes a seat in front of Brown. She's wearing what appears to be a work uniform, AirPods, and looking at her phone. But then, the unthinkable happens. You see Brown pull out what officials say was a pocket knife. He unfolds it, then stands up behind Zarutska. What we aren't showing you is the moment where Brown then stabs Zarutska several times, then walks away.
Officials say it appears that Brown and Zarutska did not know each other, and a motive for the stabbing remains under investigation.
So you said something in your body did what?
Nah, the material, put it like this, the material using my body to stab the lady.
And so she just got stabbed.
Yeah. You know that's not me. I'm talking about just for no reason. But since they did that, now they got to investigate the material my body is exposed to. Since they want to do all that, now they got to investigate.
Now listen to another man going through a similar situation. He was also illegally exposed to a material that is remotely controlled and being used to induce effects in his body. He does not have an extensive criminal record. He is not suicidal, and he is not a danger to society.
Yeah, I'd say sorry for getting all worked up in my last little short there a few minutes ago. It ain't 20 minutes longer. But the V2K is like, you're having a mental health crisis. I'm not having a mental health crisis. I'm being tortured. That's what I am. I'm being. It's tortured. And you know, the funny thing is, you know, I just seen a video today. I'm gonna watch it when I get home. Is DeCarlos Brown Jr., the guy that harmed that, you know, committed the act of violence to that refugee here from Ukraine on the public transit. He's got somebody FOIA'd something where he's telling the cops the same thing that I'm experiencing, pretty much to a T. I can understand why you can discredit him because he has a rap sheet, you know, a mile long. But with me, it's like, I don't have a rap sheet. I don't have a rap sheet a mile long. I never had any of these problems before being visited by somebody claiming to be a special agent, asking me about comments on social media. Never happened. You know what? I got some speeding tickets or something, a couple moving violations. Who doesn't? You know, there might be some of you that don't, but I do. But it's like, no. The same thing, materials moving in my body, I believe it's graphene oxide. He just didn't know what it was. People remotely moving my body parts. Hearing voices in my head that haven't been there before. Just boom, magically appeared. You know? What medical diagnosis is feeling of your brain getting sucked on in various locations of your brain, right? The sides, the top, the front, the back, you know, full body magnetic feelings. Magnetic feeling in my mouth and rolling it around. And all this other weird shit that I got going on. There's no medical diagnosis for that. Even if you want to say I'm not, I have no reason to lie. I'd sign this down on an affidavit, go get it notarized with the penalty of perjury. Not a liar. That's what's happening.
To this tonight, meantime, we're learning more about a police encounter with DeCarlos Brown months before he was accused of killing Irina Zarutska on the light rail. Newly released CMPD body camera video shows a January interaction with Brown as officers arrested him for misusing 911. WCNC Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard has this story.
Well, the video starts on a January morning. You can see flashing lights, officers stepping out of their patrol cars, and a man pacing on the sidewalk asking for help. That man is DeCarlos Brown.
How you doing? What's going on?
It begins with a single 911 call. A call CMPD says came from DeCarlos Brown, a man convinced something inside his body was controlling him.
Somebody committed a crime and exposed me with it without my permission or authorization.
There's about 8 body camera videos, each showing different angles and interactions from that January call. You can see Brown standing on the sidewalk explaining how a man-made material had been implanted in him, causing him to wake up on the ground.
Somebody did something to my body. That's criminal.
For nearly 30 minutes, officers asked questions, trying to get Brown to seek medical help instead. Brown insisting he already did.
And then they said it's schizophrenic. I hear voices in my head. They got it wrong.
In terms of assisting you, we're not doctors, we're police officers.
Brown eventually growing more and more upset. He raises his voice.
It's not their job to investigate something that my body got exposed to.
With CMPD eventually placing him under arrest for misuse of the emergency system, something they say he's already done several times.
And I said, I gotta go to jail. You know why? You know why? Because they won't investigate what my body got exposed to, because that's not a cop job.
This encounter now being re-examined through a far more tragic lens after Brown was charged in the killing of Irina Zarutska. Tradisha Woodard, WCNC Charlotte.
Now, you heard Tradisha talking about the prior incidents that have been similar to the one that we just saw in the body camera footage. CPD, in fact, tells us Brown called 911 3 times in 2024 before that encounter that we just saw. Police say in those cases they deployed their crisis management team to offer him resources, but they say he refused. And they also say they couldn't involuntarily commit him because he did not express a desire to harm himself or others.